Venus has always carried a strange allure. Once imagined as a tropical paradise hidden beneath thick clouds, it is now revealed to be a nightmare world. A planet so hostile it has earned the title of Earth's evil twin. When physicist Michio Kaku stood before an audience and displayed long classified photographs from the Soviet Venera missions, the moment was more than a scientific footnote. It was a reintroduction of images that had spent decades buried in secrecy, pictures that, in their grainy imperfection, carried the weight of both history and revelation. Captured in the 1970s and 1980s, the Venera photographs were unlike anything seen before. They were not glossy panoramas or dazzling color mosaics, but distorted, shadowy frames filled with jagged rocks and alien soil under a suffocating yellow sky. These were not artistic imaginings or speculative renderings. They were reality. Images taken on a planet where temperatures soar high enough to melt lead, where the air is dense with carbon dioxide, and where the pressure is like standing nearly a kilometer beneath Earth's oceans. For a few fleeting minutes before their destruction, the Soviet landers endured long enough to send back proof that another world had been touched. The photographs themselves carry a haunting quality. They lack the crisp beauty of Mars rover shots or the icy landscapes of outer moons, but in their rawness lies something even more powerful. They feel real in a way polished images do not. Each rock, each shadow, each faint horizon speaks of a surface that no human could ever stand upon. Looking at them is like staring into a parallel world, one that could easily have been Earth had conditions tipped slightly differently. The sense of familiarity wrapped in danger is what makes Venus so unsettling, its size and composition so similar to our own planet, yet its fate turned catastrophic by a runaway greenhouse effect. During the Cold War, these images were symbols of technological daring but also of secrecy. The Soviet Union was quick to boast of successes, yet failures were often hidden, and full details of their missions rarely reached the outside world. That these images exist at all is a testament to careful archiving and the audacity of engineers who designed machines meant to die. Each lander's mission was brief, survival measured in minutes, but the fact they worked at all is staggering. The cameras were forced to function in conditions that would crush submarines and incinerate most electronics. To see even a single frame transmitted from such an environment is to witness a small miracle of engineering. Kaku's decision to present the photographs decades later was as much cultural as scientific. In an age accustomed to digital clarity and high definition, the Venera images appear almost surreal, like fragments of a dream. They recall the aesthetics of mid-20th century science fiction, with their grain and distortion giving them an otherworldly texture. Yet their reality is undeniable. They are not visions of what might be, but evidence of what is. By reintroducing them, Kaku reminded us of an era when space exploration was both a geopolitical contest and an act of extraordinary imagination. The implications of these images reach beyond their immediate scientific value. They serve as stark reminders of planetary fragility. Venus and Earth began alike, yet Venus became a furnace, its oceans boiled away, its skies turned toxic. The Venera photographs are not just windows into an alien landscape, but warnings. They show us what happens when a planet tips into imbalance, when habitability collapses. To look at Venus is, in some ways, to glimpse a possible future for Earth should climate systems spiral beyond control. At the same time, the images stir something deeper, the sense of awe that comes from realizing we have touched another world, however briefly. Each lander that descended to the Venusian surface was doomed, its systems designed for one purpose only: to endure long enough to capture what no one had ever seen. Each photograph is like the final heartbeat of a mechanical pioneer, a sacrifice made in the pursuit of knowledge. The resurfacing of these photos also highlights the fragility of our own history. Had they been left in dusty archives, forgotten or discarded, they might never have re-entered public consciousness. Their reappearance raises questions about what else might still be hidden: data, images, or records from past missions still waiting to inspire. They remind us that exploration is not just about the future, but about preserving the traces of what we have already achieved. In the end, the photographs of Venus are more than just scientific records. They are artifacts of human daring, cultural relics of a tense era, and symbols of what it means to reach into the impossible. They show a world that is at once alien and familiar, a mirror of Earth twisted into something uninhabitable. They are proof that we are capable of glimpsing the unreachable, even if only for a moment. And they remind us that our own planet, fragile and balanced, could one day share Venus's fate if we are not careful. When Kaku presented those images, he wasn't just showing old photographs. He was giving us back a piece of ourselves, a record of what humanity dared to attempt, a glimpse into a world both terrifying and fascinating, and a silent reminder of the razor-thin line between paradise and ruin. They represent more than a Soviet triumph. They embody a universal achievement, proof that humanity can extend its reach into places that should remain forever beyond our grasp. At the same time, they prompt reflection on perception itself. For centuries Venus shone as a mystery, dazzling the night sky with its brilliance and inspiring myths of love and beauty. Hidden beneath its cloud cover, it was a blank canvas for imagination. Scientists and writers alike filled it with speculation, lush jungles, vast oceans, or desolate deserts, depending on the mood of the dreamer. The Venera photographs put an end to the guessing. They stripped away fantasy and revealed something harsher than most had dared to picture. The surface was not paradise, but wasteland, an oven of rock, heat, and crushing pressure. Yet in their severity the images captivated no less than any dream. The end of speculation gave way to new imagination, this time anchored in truth. Kaku's unveiling emphasized not only the rediscovery of old images but the continuity of exploration across eras. In the Cold War, space exploration was marked by secrecy and rivalry, with each nation guarding its progress as a matter of prestige. Today, the culture has shifted toward openness and international collaboration. Scientific data is shared across borders, and multinational missions are increasingly the norm. By resurfacing Soviet photographs under the banner of shared human curiosity, Kaku reclaims them not as relics of a divided age, but as heritage for all of humanity. They belong to no single nation anymore, but to our species, still striving to understand its place in the cosmos. The photos also carry weight as milestones in the philosophy of exploration. They symbolize the human urge to turn mystery into knowledge, to replace the unknown with the known. Yet they also highlight the fleeting nature of such opportunities. Venus is so extreme that missions to its surface remain rare. Decades after the Venera program, no spacecraft has returned with new images from the ground. The old photographs remain the only direct visuals we possess of a world only 25 million miles away. That fact alone elevates their significance. They are not simply dated records, but humanity's sole window into one of its nearest neighbors. Their existence also raises questions about exploration priorities. Mars has long dominated attention, with its potential for past life and relatively forgiving environment. Venus, however, may hold secrets just as important. Its climate history could provide insight into the forces that shape habitability and destruction. The stark photographs are silent testimony to this, showing us what a runaway greenhouse effect can do to a once Earth-like planet. They whisper a warning as much as they reveal a discovery. Ignore Venus, and we ignore a lesson about our own future. On a cultural level, the photographs touch something deeper in human nature. Data and numbers can inform, but only images stir emotion. To see a rocky slope beneath a yellow sky is to feel, however briefly, as though one has stood on another world. Kaku's presentation rekindled this connection, reminding audiences that exploration is not merely about collecting knowledge, but about creating presence. Through the eyes of machines, we glimpse alien ground, and in doing so we extend ourselves across the void. There is also poignancy in remembering the fragility of the technology that delivered these images. Each lander was doomed before it even touched down. At best, they endured for just over 2 hours before succumbing to the crushing atmosphere and searing heat. Yet in that short window they fulfilled their purpose, transmitting pictures across millions of miles. These photographs are more than planetary portraits, they are epitaphs for machines that sacrificed themselves for knowledge. They embody the drama of finality, the beauty of an ending marked by success. In this way they become relics, testaments to human yearning much like cave art or ancient manuscripts, fragile yet enduring symbols of devotion to discovery. For scientists, the photos still serve as reference points. Geologists examine the fractured slabs and uneven rock textures for clues to volcanic processes, erosion, and resurfacing events. The absence of impact craters in some frames hints at a dynamic planet reshaped by lava flows. Even with their graininess and distortions, the images anchor scientific theories, grounding them in reality. They remain essential data points in the story of Venus's geology. For communicators, the lesson lies in storytelling. Numbers alone rarely inspire, stories do. Kaku framed the images within a tale of secrecy, rediscovery, and triumph, transforming declassified photos into living cultural touchstones. Without narrative, they would gather dust in archives. With it, they resonate across generations. They also provoke reflection on knowledge itself. Once locked away under Cold War secrecy, the images raise questions about what remains hidden even today. What archives hold material that future generations will rediscover with fresh significance? These photographs are not only views of Venus, but mirrors reflecting humanity's complex relationship with information, sometimes hoarded, sometimes liberated, always reshaped by context. Kaku's reveal feeds directly into the momentum of modern missions. NASA's proposed Veritas and Da Vinci Plus projects, along with concepts for atmospheric drones, draw on the legacy of the Venera landers. By reminding people of what was already achieved under near-impossible conditions, the photographs generate renewed interest and support for future ventures into Venus's inferno. Memory also plays a key role. Decades-old photographs can feel new when reframed for today. Discovery is not linear, it is cyclical. Knowledge is found, forgotten, revived, and reinterpreted. The Venus images evolve in meaning depending on when and how they are shown. Today they speak not only of engineering triumph, but of climate fragility, shared human heritage, and the persistence of curiosity. Unlike the grandeur of Saturn's rings or the dusty elegance of Mars, Venus's surface seems bleak, almost oppressive. Yet within its hostility lies a different kind of beauty, the beauty of endurance, of capturing truth regardless of how hard